What's up, just another car show, people? Today we have the blessing of reviewing a 2021 Toyota Supra. Our good friend Lee here has provided the car for us. So this is going to be our first actual car review. We're going to give you as much information as we can, make it look as cool as we can, and I'm sure we're going to be pleasantly surprised by this car. We followed Lee here for 20 minutes, and it sounds amazing. It looks like it drives amazing. We're excited as f***. It's like early 2000s, late 90s, they stopped making the original Supra. Every JDM kid freaking, because they didn't stop making the GTR, so that would have been like the big competitor. But every JDM kid has wanted this car back for 20 years now, and they just decided to pull one out of their butt 2 years ago, 2020. BMW helped them a lot with the design and build. Lee and I were just talking that BMW sent Toyota the engine several times before Toyota accepted it. Yeah. So what was that? Because they changed it from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah, on the 2021s, from what I know, they have new pistons in it for a better compression, and they changed the turbo timing. So the turbo in this, I believe it spools like a little bit earlier, but it's, you know, the torque is still higher than the other one.
Okay, how much boost do you get for this?
I'm not sure on the boost. I'm gonna guess like in the teens.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Like low teens, so that's factory safe. Yeah. Can we check out the engine here now?
Of course.
Let's do it.
It just comes right up.
Oh, it does? Oh, it's a sports car. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm not used to so much plastic. Inline six, single turbo. Well, I don't even know many cars that make inline sixes anymore, so this is really cool, the fact that they did this. Is the Z4 an inline six?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because
it comes in a 4-cylinder too.
So this comes in 4-cylinder turbo, 4-cylinder turbo like premium, and then this is the 6-cylinder.
6-cylinder turbo.
6-cylinder.
380 horsepower.
Okay, I'm used to driving 120 horsepower, so I did just drive an 3 Series all last week, so maybe that would be my prep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take it slow for a little bit here. Okay. I don't know what size brakes or calipers those are, but out of the factory, those are beefy as hell. Lee, what?
Yeah. Those are some Brembos.
Oh, these are Brembos.
You get a factory sports car, you gotta get the Brembo
You gotta get the
package.
Brembos. Oh my God, dude. So, I'm just shocked. I'm like, I didn't know they put so much into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had just read all the articles online of like, oh, it's a Z4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's a BMW.
Yeah,
but
I love controversial things.
Yeah.
I'm a very like against the grain kind of person when I get things. So this was perfect for me. I love all the controversy with it.
What kind of comments do you get? Like, you get people saying...
Yeah, people shout at me all the time, like, nice BMW, it's not a Supra.
And then do you get like because the joke is with Supras that you get the 10 to 12-year-old fanboys. So do you get those dudes like coming up to you being like, oh.
I had one guy come up to me and ask if he could fanboy over it.
That was the question.
Like, heck yeah, dude.
You're like, it's here for it. The interesting thing, can I open up the door and do the... So the interesting thing is like the interior does look a lot like a BMW. I rented a 3 Series last week, and that the shift knob is the same, the control knob is the same. Some of the, well, the dash looks, we said this earlier, it looks a lot like a Mazda even.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so Lee was telling us that one of the comments that people make a lot about this car is that the doors are kind of hollow and feel, yeah, feel kind of like hollow and cheap. Are there speakers in here?
They're,
okay.
Yeah,
so they're mounted out. Yeah, you get JBL speaker system in here?
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's all right. But yeah, that is interesting. It is kind of like an empty feeling door. You would expect on a sports car to have like a heavier, like I like that the doors are so long. That's very much a sports car feel.
Yeah.
But you'd anticipate having like a heavier, solid feel.
For some reason, they just kind of cheaped out around this area.
Yeah.
There's this problem with wind buffeting here.
So when you have the windows down, it's the
yeah, like it started at like 45 miles an hour.
Okay.
I got these Varus carbon fiber deflectors here.
And they just like stuck on.
Yeah, a little 3M.
Okay. And they work?
Yeah, I don't get buffeting until like 60 miles an hour now.
Okay. First time getting in a Supra ever. Like, I've never even been in the old ones. This is very exciting. And Lee was a saint, he cleaned it out for us today. Although, honestly, knowing you, I feel like it wasn't even that dirty. So Toyota interiors generally are super well put together, super clean, super high quality. You're driving like a 70 or 17-year-old Toyota that the interior is still holding together than a better Ford or brand new Ford. But like all of this feels very much like Toyota stuff. Like just the buttons are solid, everything is like well put together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is this a compartment or is this just cup holders?
It's cup holders.
They just committed.
Nah, no compartments besides the glove box here.
They said it's a sports car. Yeah. Well, and this is even interesting, this shoulder, because remember the original Supras had like very much the, looked like an airplane cockpit, like everything was angled towards the driver. It looks like they tried to keep some of that. Yeah. But it feels more like a buffer than than actually like adding to the driver's experience. This component of the dash looks like a 3 Series BMW. Like a lot of these, the turn signals are like from a 3 Series. The paddles are from a 3 Series. These dials are from a 3 Series. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they stole the inside of a 3 Series and then made it better and then made it cooler. Because this dash readout, like, that's, I mean, can I? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, this reminds me of the Lexus IS 350s. Because this is all digital, right? And when you shift, does this like red line and show you where you're at for shift points? I think so. Okay, yeah, that's something we can definitely look at. When you get up there, it starts highlighting more things in red. Yeah, exactly. So that's very much like a Lexus. And this, honestly, this is very comfortable though. Like I feel like I'm well positioned in the car. I'm low. Like I would want to be low in a sports car. I'm gonna pull the door closed just so I can kind of feel it. Yeah, this is a really comfortable situation. Visibility, this is a lot right here. Like I'm used to driving a convertible, so I can't. It's like driving with the hat on. Yeah, this right here is very low. How's your? Oh, you got very large blind spots. Well, I mean it's so close to the. Yeah. You don't really need much of a. You can adjust the mirrors to compensate well enough for that. Okay, yeah. As long as you know what's going on. As long as you're paying attention while you're driving. Okay, we're recording. It's happening. Like, all right, she's peppy. The Toyota Supra. The people love it. They've wanted it back for 17 years now. The boys love it. Can't get enough of it. You got the fanboys. You know, they used to get super excited about things like women and sports. Now it's 2021 and all we got is a Toyota Supra. A hell of a car. Let's do the goods first. So one of the first things I'd like to note is that this is the first car I've ever driven that is a true manual paddle shifter. Now they all say that they're manual paddle shifters and they're all lying through their teeth about it. I have driven a number of cars, and I have never seen a true manual paddle shifter. I know they're in like Formula One, and if you're willing to spend $260,000 on a trashy Ferrari, because that's all they make these days. All right, but let's just talk through this. Besides the shift paddles, we got Lee making a great comment here right off the bat. Strong move by Lee that there needs to be a Supra badge somewhere in their interior. I mean, I understand BMW built the interior of this car because it looks identical to an M3, or excuse me, a 3 Series. Well, not completely identical, but there are some strong components. But even if they just planted Supra somewhere on the wheel, I would feel so much cooler, because there is, don't lie to yourself, there is that tiny part of you that just wants to be the super cool guy driving the Supra, and you hate it about yourself, but you know there is that tiny little part inside you needs to be the cool guy driving the Supra, and I was for this video, so big thanks to Lee, appreciate him again, off the top, killing it. So let's go over just kind of the suspension. It's Florida roads, so we got to give ourselves a little A little bit of love here because they're smooth, but they're busy, and there's not a lot of side roads because, Walt Disney came in there and said, hey, yo, I have tons of money, and so we're just going to build a freaking grid here because this is all about productivity for tourism. Moving on from the suspension, just being significantly tight and smooth, but almost mysterious in the sense that I know I drive a 97 Mazda Miata with coilovers. The thing basically sits on the ground. Not that I'm a stance car, but it's just low, and it's just an older car. You don't have the sophistication that you have with the car that was made this year or last year. So I can't speak super truthfully on the suspension. All I can say is that it was good. It did feel very BMW-esque because I had driven a BMW 3 Series the week before, only to say that BMW has this commitment to comfort sports cars. I don't understand why. Like, their M3s and M2s and M4s are monsters, but they just have this thing. They want you to be comfortable. They want you to know that you're the freaking man. You're driving a BMW. You're so cool. You just came back from work at your corporate job working for the man. Anyways, moving on from that. The brakes are unreal. Unreal. Like, of your dreams. I didn't even contemplate the ability that these brakes would have. The car, it stopped. Newton's laws of physics do not apply to this car. The brakes are so quick that you have to be careful applying them. It's almost like you're driving your mom's Honda minivan with all the groceries in the back. You don't want your favorite ice cream to spill over because, you're 17 and you went to go get the groceries. They knew that what they were doing with the exhaust. They made it a beautiful thing. It sounds amazing. You can get it to pop in second gear. Lee was flexing that on us. Toyota, they knew they couldn't a Supra. So they put, but it's the times, man. It's the times. So it's not 1990 when people could afford, or let's even scratch that. It's not 1960s when people could buy muscle cars all day long. It's not 1990s when dudes could drop this cash on a beautiful freaking, Supra. Yeah, it's just not that time anymore. So they partnered up with who? They played their cards right. They said, it's a Supra. We can't screw it up. We're going to call up our homies at BMW. That being said, they should have never, ever, ever in all of human history made a 4-cylinder Supra. Ford put the shotgun in their mouth and pulled the trigger when they made a 4-cylinder Mustang. And I'm not making a suicide joke. I'm just saying that they committed to losing the credibility of that muscle car at that moment in time. They said, we're done with it. We know it's dead. It's 2021. We're making 4 cylinders out there. And now I know a girl who has one. And now Mustang people talk shit to me, and I have a Mazda Miata. So let's bring it back. Don't ever make a 4-cylinder sports car if you want to be taken seriously. Okay. So we did it. Now Lee is the coolest guy. He's also a savvy shopper. He got 10 G's off this Supra. There was something about the paint and the bumper and about the guy who had it originally bringing it back. Who is that rich that they just dropped 50? Looking at the specs. I don't know. 50 G's on a Supra, and then in a month and a half they come back. I didn't like it. I want the new McLaren over there. Who has that much money? Okay. So, yeah. So, he's the savvy shopper. He just kind of hooked it up. He did admit, he's a truthful man also. He did admit that he got a Supra, partially for the street cred, but you would do it too. All right? Don't be hating on my man Lee. You would do it too. All right? If you could purchase a Supra, you know, again, like we said earlier, that little part inside of you would be so hyped to be the guy driving the Supra. So, that really the biggest fault of this car, it doesn't have major faults, because if you look at it as a car, as a whole, as a creation of an object to bring enjoyment to individuals, it does that amazingly. It drives smooth, it picks up speed, it makes cool noises that make you just feel happy inside, it handles like a pimp, and it stops on a dime. So what are people so mad about when they're talking all this trash from BMW? I don't care that hey, don't overcomplicate it and appreciate it for what it is, okay? It's an amazing car. Now, the fact that the door vents are like a bad boob job and there's no air actually flowing through the door vents and the air dams across the car, we can point some fingers and we can talk some crap. Now, Lee is a cool enough guy that he knows these things. He knows that there are things that Toyota just couldn't flex all the way through on. But no car is perfect. No car is perfect. And if you think you're going to have a perfect car, you'll find a car that makes you happy. And if it makes you happy, that's enough. Don't overcomplicate things. Just appreciate the fact that this man got a Supra 10 G's off and it makes people happy. We literally had a cute little high school car group driving past us, slowed down in their Nissan Altima and said, "Hey, that's sexy." All right? All right. In no other situation in human history can you maybe if you're like super misogynistic and you lived in the 20s, I'm not sure, but no other time in human history can you roll down a window and scream out that window the comment to someone else, "Hey, that is sexy," without it being offensive. That in and of itself is a beautiful thing for humanity, okay? So just accept the fact that this is an amazing car, and all you BMW fanboys can get off your cars, because this is not a BMW. It's not. BMW helped with it. It's not a BMW. Okay, stop. Toyota's the badge on the car. It's a Toyota. You don't look at a Honda, or a Camry, and say, "Oh, well, a lot of the parts were made in North America. It's probably a Chevy." No, you don't do that. You don't look at a Maserati and say, "Well, the engine was made by Ferrari. It's a Ferrari." You accept the car for the people who made it and how it is made and the enjoyment it brings to people. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, I'm ready. Nope. Okay, so our run-of-the-mill super end of the video thought is that nobody can throw shade on this car the way that people are throwing shade on this car. Nothing in this car is lacking. Suspension is perfect. Braking is much more than I anticipated. The speed and the response from the engine is amazing. Don't throw shade on the new Supras. We're done with that. It's not a Z4. Toyota did not accept anything from BMW that was less than their standard, and this is freaking perfect. Oh, I said it. It's perfect. And Lee, shout out to Lee. What a gentleman. Right. If you're anything as close to as nice of a person as Lee, you'll let us review your car as well. We drove safely. Girls yelled at us about how cool they thought it was. Lee's here for the clout, man. We're here for the clout. That's it, man. 2021 Supra. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the link below for the Patreon. Be a kind person like Lee, and hit the link for letting us review your car. Have a great weekend. Yeah, dude. They're not f***ing around. That's gonna be the summary of the video. 3 Series, as far as the engine goes, because it's just like...
It's a Sport.
Okay, there you go.
It's a little bit louder, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, the dial just turned red. That's... Oh! And it's got the little fart back every time. That's really nice, dude. What made you, when you're 57, you'll be able to be like, yeah, I have one of the most classic Supras. One of the first yellow ones in Florida. Wow. 67 and third. I'm not used to that. I'll get up to like 75.